Now joining us to unwrap the events of the past 2 days concerning the Kenyan elections is our very own Nii Omoniyi, who's here with us in the studio. Well, not in this studio, but he's here with us in New Central Studios. Nii, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Nii, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
Now, Nii, like one of our correspondents from Kenya did say, when Kenya sneezes, the rest of East Africa catches cold. So right now, East Africa, and of course the entire continent, is standing still and has been standing still for the past 48 hours, waiting to hear what the result of this nail-biting election would be. How exciting would you say this has been for Kenya and the rest of the East African community?
Pretty exciting. I'll use the word nail-biting because it's been a tough one. From monitoring so far of the race between Wiliam Ruto and Raila Odinga, it's a really tight one. Very few tally differences, 10,000 votes, 20,000 votes, and it keeps jumping up and down. And yeah, the battle has remained between the two because, of course, they are the top giants, of course, and with a party as well in Kenya. The excitement is quite huge. A lot of people are expecting so much from them. And what is pertinent to this particular election is that, one, there is no violence. Not that there are no pockets of violence there, here and there, but there is no violence unlike what was witnessed in the major 2017 election, which rocked the town. And so many people have not forgotten that. But one other thing that is also pertinent to this election is voter apathy, because a lot of people didn't turn out. According to statistics, in 2013, about 85% turned out. In 2017, 75%. But now we have 56% of the 22 million of the 22 million voters that are registered to vote. Only 14 million came out to vote, and that says a lot. I don't know. I want to relate it to I want to relate it to Nigeria a little bit, because there's a lot of similarities. Yes, Nigeria is the giant of Africa, but as you said, when Kenya sneezes, of course, the coach spread. There are two top parties also in Nigeria, so there are so many things that are relatable there. And whatever comes out, or whatever the decision is from the electorate that is Kenya resident, is certainly going to speak a lot, because there's a lot of work for whoever is going to be elected the president to do in terms of economy. And I read through their manifesto. I read Raila Odinga's manifesto. I read through Wiliam Ruto's manifesto. Yes, they're all trying to improve the economy and make sure that things seem right. But no much chances has been for David Wahiga and, of course, George Wajakoya, who, of course, has become an internet sensation at a particular point when he spoke about marijuana. But all of them seem they had good plans, but of course, one person will be elected. So the excitement is high. Kenyans are waiting. The counting is still ongoing. A lot of the provinces, the counties have been counted. I think about... the last time I checked, about 12 million votes has been counted. So about maybe 1 million plus or 2 million is expected. Hopefully, maybe today or very early tomorrow, we'll get a particular figure from the IEBC.
You know, Nii and Bennett, I would like to chip this in. It's not a digression, but I was following the elections, and, I was watching the press briefing this morning, and I noticed something that I would like to call the power of the press. Now, the election head, Wafula Chebukati, if I'm correct, he was talking about the fact that there are varying tallies, like you mentioned, Nii, from different media stations. Now, different people following different media stations are seeing different results. And, he has said that they shouldn't worry, but I'm just seeing how important the media is when it comes to this thing. So the initial agreement between all of them was that they will have one media house who, relate the result to every other person, so people can be on the same page. But at the end of the day, there were different results, different tallies, and this because some media houses started from a different constituency and other media houses started from another constituency. So it's looking like the results here are higher than there, and vice versa. Now, like I said earlier, I just want to point out the power of the press, and this relates to us because we are the journalists. We are the ones who relate, the story to people. So if there is a way that there can be a collective, like there can be a joint head when these things happen, I know that it's not so easy for every media outfit to come together and, give one news, have one source, because everyone wants to be at the top of the game. But look at the little bit of confusion it's causing in Kenya right now, because some people are saying that Raila is leading, others are saying that Ruto is leading. actually the race is very close. It's a very close call. So we can't even say who is winning. But again, the power of the press.
Yeah, the power of the press. I must agree with you. And I would also leave space for Nee to discuss this because Nee and I were in the last elections.
I was about to say that we were discussing this earlier.
Exactly. We're discussing it earlier. And, you know, when the last elections in Nigeria here, talking about Ekiti State and Osun State as well. Now, in countries where there is no, you know, they don't enjoy the luxury of electronic voting, or you don't have the luxury of, you know, electronic viewing of votes that are being cast by the minute, where you can see it from anywhere, from different platforms as it keeps growing. You only have one source. You have the, you know, the Voters Commission, like in Nigeria, where you have INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. That body should be the only source of information, if you ask me, to the only source of disseminating information concerning the election. In Nigeria, what they do is INEC, you know, tells all media outfits not to publicize any information until it comes out from the mouth or the lips of the representative of the Electoral Commission. And we've seen that happen in Nigeria and in some other countries as well. So probably the same should happen in Kenya, rather than different media outfits.
I wouldn't say that they were intentionally publicizing the result. I would say that each media outfit was trying to publicize the numbers, the statistics as it was rising. But then because they were...
Let me just jump in here. The truth is, when you give so many rooms for probably error, and there's no one particular body that can verify and can stand on credibility, then you're going to have a lot of falsified information. Now, at least I know about 2 major sites that are independently tracking these elections, and they've been given figures. And over time, I've begun to hear that some of this information might be false. The IEBC has come out to say that they've not, no one is allowed or to give any information, and any other information coming aside from them is not real. But unfortunately, the IEBC itself has not released an official site where people can track.
Can actually go,
now, I understand that, as Ben mentioned earlier, there's this electronic challenge maybe in Kenya, because for this particular election, they were allowed to use the electronic, and at some points, if the electronic devices were not working in your area, you can go through the manual process. So yeah, maybe computing the votes might be a little bit challenging, but the fact remains that the body that is allowed, or that should be allowed to give this information, should be the body in charge of it, because there could be personal reasons for you to falsify information. Yes, there might be credibility over the years, probably because you've been doing this and you've been given accurate results, but you are not the body in charge. And that's where credibility comes in. So I really don't think that another body should be allowed to disseminate that information. Where I just feel the IEBC is lacking is that by now, there should have been an official site giving tally or giving daily report of result or counting from each county, and even provinces under those counties, so that people can monitor. And these are things these are where issues of transparency and accountability come out from. Because when people cannot see these, when people don't see these little things that you can use to gain their trust, then they start feeling that something is wrong and there's something about to go wrong.
Nani, as we seem to be quickly running out of time, but we cannot go without touching this. Now, it's something that is, you know, it's common with different African countries in the past few elections that we've been seeing, and that's voter apathy. And it was also complained about in Kenya. Like you rightly mentioned, the number of registered voters was a lot more than the number of actual voters who came out to cast their votes. We've seen this in Kenya. We saw it happen in Benin Republic early 2021. We saw it happen in parts of Nigeria, you know, a few months ago. And in other parts of Africa, it's been happening. It's looking like, particularly among the youth now. Africa, they say, Africa, as we know, is the youngest continent. Most of the countries have populations, you know, the larger part of their population being below 35. But if this particular group do not come out to vote, it means that picking whoever is going to run these countries is not going to be, it's not going to be a popular decision by most of the people.
And also adding to what Bennett said, especially looking at the hype around the elections, you've seen, we saw the youths coming out en masse, shouting, and, you know, a lot of people having the different candidates that they were going to vote for. So now we're seeing that there's a low turnout. There's so much hype, but then a low turnout of voters. What do you think contributed to that?
But one thing I will say is for sure, Wiliam Ruto is 55, Raila Odinga is 77. You can see the difference, and this covers a particular demographic. And if not that, Ruto even picked, Raila actually picked a female as a running mate, I feel they might not have been able to get that much vote because it speaks to a particular demographic, and that's why they were able to garner that vote. Over time, one of the common issues I've seen in most African countries is the issue of, one, bad leadership, and of course, economic challenges. And the same thing is happening in Sierra Leone now. People are calling for a change because they're tired of the economic hardship. And that comes from bad management or bad leadership. And the youth have not, I won't say they've not, in some countries like Nigeria, for example, the youth have spoken up, and of course they're waiting for a chance to take the lead or change the reign of power by 2023. And this is all happening across borders. So maybe when they get tired of the particular situation of the economic hardship they are going through, they will speak up or take a step. But one thing is sure, that from whichever way they want to do it in Kenya, they are still going to have an older man ruling them.
Okay, Nani, we have to go now. I won't let you think about it. Just answer straight. Who do you think is going to win? Wiliam Ruto, Raila Odinga? Don't think about it. One answer.
Raila Odinga.
Raila Odinga. I'll hold you to your word. All right, thank you so much, Lee, for joining us once again. Now we have Adesewa Odushoga standing by to give us. All right, so Nii, you're here.
I'll
Nii, please
just
give
do
us.
it so because of our time. Yes.
Yes.
So looking at the crystal ball for next week, Mali troops' death toll rises to 42 from 17. And this has been going on for a while. They chased away the French soldiers and decided that they wanted to be having things themselves and got support from Russia. But of course, that has not really doused the tension in the area as the rebels and militia attacks has gone higher, and a lot of people keep dying. And to the next story in DRC, the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, has expressed serious concern between the ongoing fight between Rwanda and DRC. This has been going on for a while, especially since the Rwanda genocide, where the Hutus moved from Rwanda to DRC, and a lot of accusation has come that Rwanda is backing the rebels, especially the Movement 23, the M23 rebels in the area. And a lot of, recently, even 2 soldiers were arrested by the Rwandan government, no, by the DRC government. Those are the Rwandan soldiers. And although the Angolan president is currently mediating on behalf of the African Union and saying there should be ceasefire, there should be peace, and the U.S. has waded in, according to how Anthony Blinken said, because he visited South Africa. Then his second phase of his tour was in DRC, and the last part is in Rwanda currently, to foster peace between the 2 countries. And still, the last one staying in Congo, 800 inmates have escaped from a prison in DRC. Now, this is just one of the numerous prison breaks that have happened in DRC. It happens almost every 3-4 months. And many people have associated this to issues of overcrowding and, of course, the insecurity in the country. These are stories that we feel that will run through to the next week. And, of course, we keep track of them and get you updated as time unfolds.